When it comes to collecting wax pack trading cards, there is a lot to choose from your favorite movies, TV shows, and original properties. But there were so many wax packs produced that some of them might not even have been your favorites. Some of them might have been downright bombs, total disasters, some of the worst movies of all time. So today, we're gonna pick out a few of the worst movies ever created that got wax pack trading cards. Or maybe they didn't, because maybe they're a fan creation that I made. The idea behind this show is I make my own wax packs based on all kinds of different movies and things that never got wax packs, and just trying to fill in those gaps of things we didn't get. Some of them based on your favorite movies, some of them maybe not so much. And I really put in a lot of time and effort into the packs to make them as authentic as possible. So my hope is that you can't tell the difference. But we'll see, because we're gonna hold up some of the worst movies ever made, some of the biggest bombs, movies with some of the lowest rated Rotten Tomatoes scores of all times, and we get to see which one of these are real and which one of these are fake. Can you tell the difference? Let's find out. All right, today on Real or Fake Pack Break, the theme is certified rotten movies. These are all movies that are super low on Rotten Tomatoes. They were either tremendous bombs, just low budget, just disaster movies, or movies that didn't perform as well as they wanted. Whatever the case is, they are not very well regarded, and they all have a very low score on Rotten Tomatoes. So we're gonna start breaking these open, but before we do, I wanna mention how we do this, just for anyone that's maybe their first episode is. So we've got two different sets of packs. One is real, one is fake, one is a fan-made creation that I created, one is one that was actually produced back in the day, a vintage set of cards. I'm gonna open them, and the idea is that when I create these cards, I do them, or I attempt to do them so authentically that you might not be able to tell the difference. Now, anyone that's familiar with classic wax packs, which packs they produced, which ones they didn't, you probably already know, but that's cool because it's still gonna be a fun video as we unbox or unpack, unwrap, rip open some of these packs that you either haven't seen because they're ones that haven't existed before, or we just get to have the fun of kind of seeing what cards we get as we open these packs. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, what we usually do is we open these packs by order of release. So the first movie that came out is the first one we open. In this case, we're gonna do it a little differently, not by order of release, but order of Rotten Tomato score. So the higher score is gonna go first. The lowest score is going to go second in each of these groups, and we'll see how low of a score we can get to. But some of these movies are rated pretty low, so let's see how low we can go. So let's start off. First, what we're gonna do is we are going to open. I always want to say a classic. Some of these might not be considered a classic. Cult classic, maybe. We've got Manos: The Hands of Fate, and a classic dinosaur movie that was a huge bomb, and just really critically panned. Nobody liked it. Jurassic Park. All right, wait. Oh, that's not the right one. Not Jurassic Park. Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. Yeah, well before Jurassic Park, there was another dinosaur movie that was kind of a cross between, well, Jurassic Park, which hadn't existed yet. I don't even think the book was around. It might have been. I'm not sure. But because I think the movie got greenlit, I mean, as the book came out. It was like, I don't think it was out for that much long. Anyway, enough about Jurassic Park. Great movie, but definitely not low on the Rotten Tomatoes score. However, Baby was quite low, and again, it was kind of a cross between like a Jurassic Park and a kind of a Indiana Jones sort of. But we'll get into that as we open these packs. So let's go. Which one is the higher of the two on Rotten Tomatoes? We'll reveal each of these as we go. But Baby is the higher with 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. So let's open Baby. Most people don't even remember this movie. I'm almost sure that I saw this in the theater because I like dinosaurs and stuff like that. It was a Disney, I think a Touchstone movie. And it did, I mean, I think I remember kind of liking it. I mean, some of the effects probably don't hold up as much, but it's kind of a very forgotten film. But I do have some, I do have some love in my heart for this as I saw this growing up. We got some old bubble gum there. Let's kind of break open these packs here. So I kind of like the design. We got the little logo there. And we get to see the dinosaurs. And the thing about this movie, it did have some star power. William Catt, who played the greatest American hero, was in it, and Sean Young, who was in Blade Runner and Dune and a number of other movies. Ace Ventura was in it. Let's see, Mama and Baby Together Again. And the thing about this movie is it might have some cult status just because it's for a PG, I think it was PG Disney movie. I mean, it had some nudity in it. Quite a lot actually. There was a whole tribe who were, they didn't wear a whole lot of clothes because I think this takes place somewhere in Africa. And then also there's some swearing and stuff to it. So but it's kind of and there's actually some, I wouldn't say sex scenes, but they do kind of strip down a little bit and start to get it on before they're interrupted. So it's kind of bizarre for what was kind of a kid's movie, kind of not. So, I mean, based on that, I don't know if that's like a recommendation, but you could check it out if you want. Anyway, let's get into the cards. Baby and Mama Together Again. And of course, in the back, would we have some fun facts or just some stories that we can kind of follow the story in the back of the cards. Wake up, sleepyheads. And we've got, and I don't know if you can tell from this shot, but the character, I mean, it's almost like if you've seen How to Train Your Dragon Toothless. I mean, the dinosaur is kind of like a dark, almost black with the green, with the bright green eyes, almost kind of like Toothless. I wonder if they borrowed some of that look. Probably not. The design of the dinosaurs, not too convincing. The treacherous Trek. All right, so there we go. And then here again, like I said, we've got our stars here. William Catt, the greatest American hero. Sean Young, who would play a number of different roles throughout mostly the 80s. But yeah, and it, I think they had some chemistry together. It was pretty, I think it has its moments, I guess. Susan, come on back here. Not sure what that one's all about. Oh, and of course we've got a cool sticker. So I guess it was just certain shots where maybe the lighting made the dinosaur look like it was black with green eyes, but in other shots you could kind of see. Swimming companions. Oh, and then this is where they captured, I think, the mother, the perilous river. And there's also some, yeah, there you can kind of see some of the dinosaur effects, which I don't remember if there was any stop motion. And we've got a checklist here. Is there another card? Feels like there's another card here. Yeah, there we go. And then one more. We got the Mother Love Munster Style. All right, there you go. That is Baby. I say Secret from the Lost Legend. I think that was something that they may have added to it later. Maybe on home video, I'm not sure. But I think when it just came out, it was just called Baby. So there you go, about baby dinosaur and kind of a lost world. So that brings us to our second pack, Manos, the Hands of Fate. And like I said, this has the lower of the Rotten Tomato score. Can anyone guess what Manos, the Hands of Fate has, what its score is on Rotten Tomato? If you guessed 0%, you would be right. So this is critically one of the worst rated movies ever. It is bad. It is, and that is not hyperbole. I really think if there's a movie that could get 0%, it would be Manos, the Hands of Fate, because it is awful. It's just, it's so bad it's good, kind of, but it's also so, I mean, it's just very boring. You kind of have to watch the Mystery Science Theater version of it. I don't know if I could sit through, I don't know if I've ever sat through the actual version. It just drags on, and it is just, it is painful. But I would seek out the Mystery Science Theater version. But one of the highlights of the film is Torgo. We got a Torgo sticker, and he's supposed to be, I think he's supposed to be a centaur. and he kind of hobbles around, but that's never kind of revealed, or you never really see. He just, here we go. Here, to illustrate my point, here we go. The scenes of him just walking, and he's got his kind of own theme song, and it's just weird and bizarre. But he's got these huge, thick thighs. I guess that's because he's a centaur, but you never he's always got shoes and stuff on, so you never really see that. But there we go. Torgo hesitantly complies. Torgo is caretaker while master is, and and I think the actor who played Torgo was notoriously on drugs, was high on heroin or something throughout the whole filming, if memory serves. Circle of Wives. So Manos, the Hands of Fate. Manos is the god for which the master worships, and of course it's kind of a big cult, and these two they wind up getting lost and kind of arriving at the master's doorstep looking for a place to stay, and I guess it's kind of a horror movie, I guess. Oh man, let's see, but we do have some movie facts and stuff like that. The master would not approve. All right. And then a cry for help. And there we go. There's the master. The master awakens. And it's the scene of Torgo. He's just Torgo, caretaker while the master is away. He's just creepingly peering in, a peeping Tom as the lead actress kind of is undressing or getting dressed. I don't remember which one. It is, it's, and of course the master calls upon Manos, and to fall on deaf ears. This is when these inept cops, these sheriffs, they're just they hear a voice and should we investigate it? Nah, it's probably some animal or something. So anyway, there you go. Manos, the Hands of Fate, 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, one of the worst movies ever made. I would definitely concur with that. All right, so now let's move on to another set. We've got Howard the Duck and Troll 2. These are both movies that, again, critically panned. Howard the Duck, probably one of the biggest bombs in movie history. Directed, believe it or not, by George Lucas. I think directed by, if not produced by, but definitely, I think directed by. And based on a comic book. And I did see this in the theater. I don't know. I think I kind of defended it in the beginning, but I was young, and it's not great. It's not great. I do love the character, Howard the Duck. Of course, Troll 2, infamously bad movie. This movie is definitely the definition of so bad it's good. I can watch this movie. It's hilarious. It's so bad. So here we go. So which one are we going to open first? Well, we're going to go with the higher score first, which, believe it or not, or maybe it's obvious, but Howard the Duck, I think, which comes in at our highest rating, all the way up to 13% out of all the cards we opened today. So 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. We've got the infamously bad movie Howard the Duck, based on the classic Marvel comics character created by Steve Gerber. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we got here. Howard the Duck. Let's see if we can break that gum out of there. All right. A foul shakedown. So this, we got the cops, taking Howard into custody, it looks like. And then, of course, on the back, we've got some movie facts. Oh, Leah Thompson. I don't know if this was pre Back to the Future, but she didn't have a huge role in Back. Or no, she did. I was thinking of she played the mom. Sorry, Back to the Future. I was thinking of Marty's girlfriend, which is, you can see why I get confused, because there is sort of a weird thing. Anyone that's seen Back to the Future knows what I'm talking about. We're not talking about Back to the Future. We're talking about Howard the Duck. And we've got the classic, I think that's from the movie poster. There we go. But Howard's Last Chance. All right. Howard the Hero. Oh, that's when he's coming into that truck. Remember that scene? Zapped. And this had Leah Thompson, it had Tim Robbins, Ascent of the Duck. Okay, looks like this I think this is where we're talking about evolution and stuff like that. Howard the Duck. That's a pretty cool sticker. I like that one. And then I think I remember I don't know who did the actual animatronics and the puppeteering on this, but it was pretty. I think then they spent probably a decent amount of money on it too. But a comic classic. So yes and no. I mean, I dig the Howard the Duck comics. I don't know, as far as the movie goes. And look at Lea Thompson's hair. Wow, that is the definition of 80s big hair. But she was kind of a rock star in this. Jennings' Mad Lab. Oh, that sounds like something that I would come up with, a Mad Lab. All right, Motorcycle Maniacs. So these two motorcycles chasing after Howard. There you go. And then, we got more here. And then Catch-Up Catastrophe. And then this is back to something that trading card companies did a lot of with the split screen, where they show one scene and then the next scene where they're just exploding. So there you go, and kind of got some damage from either the wax packs or the bubble gum. But that is Howard the Duck. Oh, and I think I mentioned the Rotten Tomatoes score, but I forgot to mention the dates of release, even though we're not doing these. So Howard the Duck, 1986. Troll 2, 1990. Oh, and then just if anyone cares, Manos is our earliest entry at 1966, and Baby came out in 1985. All right, so from 1990, probably the most recent, and right around, I think it was 1993 that Topps stopped making wax packs, and then they started making, as you can see, this came out I forget when Jurassic Park came out, but this is not a wax pack. This is plastic, and that's when we started to move away from those classic wax packs. So this would have been one of the last wax packs probably produced at around 90. I think 92 is when they started to phase out and go to plastic and foil and stuff. So Troll 2 just edging in on that. Troll 2 from Topps, and the Rotten Tomato score for Troll 2, it's a little higher than I thought. It is 5%, so not quite as low as the 0% Manos got, but Troll 2 at 5%. And I think that makes sense because, like I said, Manos, other than the Mystery Science Theater episode, is pretty much unwatchable, where Troll 2 is just a blast to watch because it is just so bonkers, insane, crazy. How did this movie ever get made? Just the acting is so bad. But Troll 2, let's open this pack of Troll 2 trading cards from Topps, 1990, 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll get rid of that gum, and let's see. There we go. It's kind of stuck together. Okay, here we go. All right, A Stranger Awaits. So this guy. I think this guy, from what I understand, the actor who played this guy, and then they just went into this town. I think it was filmed in. I think it was filmed somewhere in Utah, if I'm correct. And they just hired people, like regular people, like the father was a dentist, and just like, he's just like, you guys, that's where I don't think there were any real professional actors. They just hired people that actually lived there. This guy was, I don't want to say an escaped mental patient, but he was like a mental patient who somehow must have been okay, where he was allowed to kind of leave the hospital in between or something, or he was in between visits to the mental facilities. And it kind of shows because this guy is kind of scary. But and of course we got fun facts on the back. Oh, the horrific transformation. So this is more of a dream sequence. And just to give you an idea of the level of special effects, they just glued some twigs to this kid's hand and threw some green goop on him, and that's the horror elements of it. Seduction of the Corn. This scene is another just insane, again, bonkers scene, where this kid and this woman who's like this actress's performance is she really chews the scenery, and it's one of the it's good because it's just so bad, but she really got into it. But this is I mean, they're like making out. I don't remember if this is dream sequence or reality, but then the popcorn starts popping and it's just weird. This is one of those that probably would have been a good one of those split screens that we talked about before, versus with the popcorn not popped and then with. And this is some sweet dance moves. So this is the kind of the older sister, and some of her lines are great in this movie too. But she's doing this weird dance number. Goblins run amok. Oh, and by the way, in this movie, Troll 2, if you didn't know, there are no trolls in the movie. They're just goblins, and it's not a sequel to Troll. So that was one of the weird things. But here we get to see some of the different goblins. The effects on these are so bad. It's like the mask are falling apart. You could kind of see the people underneath the mask. And then Want Some, the iconic last night of the movie, and I won't go any further than that because if you don't want to be spoiled. All right, Go Back to Hell. So this is the crazy preacher, and everyone in the town of Nilbog, which is this one I will give away, goblin spelled backwards, has sort of this weird birthmark or like a clover for some reason. All right. Oh, and this here, right here, this is probably the most iconic scene of the movie. They're going to eat me. And wait, this, I guess, they're going to be eating me. Oh my God. So they're eating her and then they're going to eat me. Oh man, it's so, oh, here we go. So this is what was I don't know the actress's name or let's see. Credence Leramore Gilgood. That's the name of the character. And again, she's just like, I mean, she is just chomping at the scenery. I mean, it's just like this is her one moment to shine, and she took every ounce of energy and just really a tour de force performance, if there ever was one. Oh man. Oh, okay. And then another classic line: "You can't piss on hospitality." And again, the father played by just a dentist. And there's documentaries. I think the best worst movie, I think, is a documentary. I think it was filmed by the kid who played this kid. He grew up to actually make a documentary about the film. But yeah, so Troll 2, definitely check that out. But now, the moment of truth. Which one of these packs are real and which one are fake? So, we'll go back to our first pairing. We've got Manos, the Hands of Fate, and Baby, later known as Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. These both from Topps. Well, maybe one of them is not from Topps. So which one is real and which one is fake? The real one is Baby. So Baby was actually produced by Topps. I think they had hopes that this would be probably a bigger success than it was. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think it was a total bomb. Like I said, I remember seeing it in the theater, but it was critically panned. It's got a very low score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's pretty much forgotten. So yeah, I mean, and you could pick up these cards for probably less than $1, I think, online, because honestly, most people don't remember the movie or want the cards. So if you are a fan of this movie, then you could probably, collect the whole set if you wanted. One thing that I don't have the whole set of is Manos, the Hands of Fate, because that is the one that I created. And when I create these, I just make single packs. So if you were to buy 2 packs, you're going to get the same cards. So the cards you see here that I've shown you are the cards that you're going to get in the pack. Just basically, again, to fill in the gaps of some of those movies that we wish they had cards for. I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are clamoring for Manos, the Hands of Fate, but cards. But it does have a pretty big cult following, even though it has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that is the first pairing. So with our second pairing, we have Howard the Duck, and we've got Troll 2, and you may have already guessed which one was real, because there was a huge push for this movie, and that was Howard the Duck. So Howard the Duck are the real cards. Even though it bombed, I think there were high hopes for it. And it's just one of those early, I think production wise, I think there was a lot of money put into it. So it's not like the 90s Captain America where it was super like cheesy or anything, like the pre-Marvel, cinematic universe. But so it was one of those Marvel movies pre that whole, what we've, kind of been going through the past, how many years of just, pretty good movies. And hopefully they'll start getting good again. We'll see. But anyway, so Howard the Duck, there was a set of cards, and I think these are pretty inexpensive online too, because I don't think there's a big demand for them. But the ones I created were the Troll 2, because this movie, as bad as it is just, I think of the so bad it's good movies, this one might take the cake as the best so bad it's good movies. It's just that and maybe Birdemic, but I think this one beats out Birdemic. So, it's just... It's insane. So there you go. Those are our real or fake pack breaks. And it will continue to do these so I can just showcase a few more of these packs that I've made, because I'm going to continue to make these. I have a blast making these kind of fan-made packs. And there's so many movies I wish they had trading cards for. So I'm gonna probably continue to make those, and we'll do these little comparisons. And hopefully now and then I can fool a few people. And let me know in the comment section if I fooled you or not. Anyway, that's gonna do it for another episode of Real or Fake Pack Break.